Dr. Umar Johnson. I want to give a shout out to Black Ice TV. Make sure you watch it, support it. The news you can use, the information you can use. Youth, Pan-Africanism, economics, family, community. Make sure you support Black Ice TV because Dr. Umar Johnson does.
It's sacred. On the thigh, mother and father is the basics. Rise like you're supposed to slip out the matrix. Still dumbstruck thinking this is entertainment. Escape to reality.
Yeah, I keep it raw like Sara Seti. Hotep, but if you're an enemy, you catch a broke net. Bang on the system like bullets from barrels released. Zulu Kemetic like African Bombata. The beast got a hold of the streets, rectify it like Malcolm. Watch your friends and your enemies, never doubt them. Never should you participate in their traditions, cause when you do, you put your own life into submission. Who's the victim? Tell me who the fuck will listen and step up and take charge. Most are caught slipping. If you don't stand for nothing, fam, then you fall for anything. Knowledge reigns supreme, give your team the mental medicine. My heart goes out to the wild youth.
Black Ice TV 7, the Desert Storm has come, and we've got Thunder with Sara Suten Seti in the Petrie Museum. Watch out, people. He's got the information. So, Seti, what do you think about this Petrie Museum so far?
You know, I had already done research on the museum. This is for, you know, the smaller things that Petrie took. Most of the larger pieces that he took, he gave to the British Museum. But these are the small detailed things that might be in a tomb. Small pottery. And I'm talking about pottery you think would go in a dollhouse type of pottery, and probably was for many of the, you know, the modules, the little doll houses, which they were houses where they show how the everyday Egyptians live. So those little types of pottery, you got flints, you got everything from tools to hair products, combs, you know, a lot of little miniature pieces that would be in everyday life, just broken down into a miniature level where it could fit down inside of a house to show the people, you know, this is how, you know, the ancient Egyptians lived their life. So, you know, when you're dealing with a lot of what people are talking about ancient Egypt, it's not the deciphering or the metal matter, because when you look at the modules that they have for the everyday, you know, living, you can almost, you know, through your own imagination, bring that back to life. So a lot of that was just, you know, they took what they saw and they added their own stories on top of it. But it's, you know, it's a lot that you can learn about ancient Egypt without some fake translation of the matter. This is one of these museums that most people wouldn't go to. See, I would come. You know, this is where you can, you know, when people ask how the ancient Egyptians lived, see, it's not necessarily the big stuff. That's the ooh and ah. But the necklaces that you see, Flinders Petrie got a lot of, you know, jewelry that he kept, you know, on the wall. So it show you a lot. I seen cowrie shells in a lot of the necklaces, which shows that it was an East African tradition too. You know what I'm saying, to have cowrie shells. But that's very significant to me, to see the jewelry, you know what I'm saying.
So what do you think, would the things that you've seen today, would you think, would that certify the topics that you're going to be talking at the lectures?
Oh, I mean, I saw some things, you know, in which I had already noticed even from America, but just to get up close to the Rosetta Stone and just seeing how lightly it's scribed into that stone. And then, like I said, for anybody who's been to ancient Egypt, you guys, if you have or if you haven't, even if you just look around the museum, and when you see Egyptian stela and you see Egyptian wall, you don't see the glyphs tapped so lightly like that. You don't see it. They carved down into the stone. That's the first thing that I saw, and I just seen discoloration on the stone at the top of the stone where it was changing colors. It's something that's happened to it, some chemical reaction that's happened to the stone. Somebody got tell us what happened to it, what hit it. And whereas the top piece of the stone, to me, is a forgery. I always knew it was a forgery, but, when you start lining things up, I didn't compound at least 20, 25 major hits on the stone. Somebody have to answer those questions. It's not that we're going to not answer them and let it go, because it's really piling up that the stone is a forgery. And what I want to say right now, that most people who know about the history of early Egyptology and the linguists, there were many major Egyptologists that did not believe Champollion deciphered the meta-letter. So I don't know why people acting as if this is a new topic. See, they running from that too. And it's some major Egyptologists that did not believe that Champollion. And I'm going to tell you, one of them was Samuel Birch, and he was the first head of the Egyptology department of the British Museum. Samuel Birch. He didn't believe Champollion. And I'm going to tell you another one that didn't believe either. Gerald Massey. And everybody read his book, Egypt, Light of the World. Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, John G. Jackson taught us about Gerald Massey. Well, Gerald Massey didn't believe that Champollion deciphered the meta-letter. And if you read in his books, he says it.
Yeah, but we don't get him too much because we got the event.
See, I'm a bad. See, ain't nobody ever see. I bring things that people just like, wow.
So we don't want to give them too much.
No, we ain't gonna give
and
them that.
they have to come to the event and see that, or when they have it.
That little bit ain't gonna do nothing, baby. I got over 30, 40 something. That's just sugar right there, baby. That's just sugar. You know what I'm saying?
But
that's all that is.
But at the end of the day, for the people out there to have a kind of understanding where you're coming from and the reasons why you're doing it, what are your reasons that you're coming over to the UK to explain the information that you're giving?
Oh man, well, you know what? BPC worldwide, Black Power Cartel, we are fulfilling our mission. When we say worldwide, that's exactly what we mean.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so we knew, I personally knew that the UK was, one of my largest followings, number 2 behind America. So, I knew that, I got to come to the places where family feeling me the most. And so I knew touching down in the UK was mandatory. And so, I'm building BPC London, BPC UK. That's what we about, you know what I'm saying? Establishing this grassroots, militant, you must say that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Agenda to get back on our Garvey shit and our Khalid Muhammad shit and our Malcolm X, young Malcolm shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what we about.
That's why we have to shut away from what tries to infiltrate that's coming in.
Ain't gonna be no infiltration, because every man gonna be judged for his own work. You know what I'm saying? And when you see that, man, we already cutting your ass off. You know what I'm saying? But it was a research. It was necessary to do the research too, because I done been to a lot of major museums in the world, and I knew that these two were, had to be on that list for me to go. Been to Cairo Museum, been to Aswan.
And then you got the last one.
Which one is that?
The Louvre.
Yeah, I got to go to the Louvre.
Yeah.
And then the one in Berlin.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised. This museum, the British Museum, has its way of working with all other museums. So what they do is that they put certain of the parts, like you get some of the Egyptian stuff in Birmingham, Manchester, and then like in Cambridge.
But above and beyond everything.
Yeah, especially the documentation.
Even coming in the museum, this shit ain't got shit on actually being in the land.
Because they know how to circulate.
This only show you how desecrated Egypt is. When you come in, for you to have this much of another man's ancestral heritage is Egypt is the greatest criminal act in world history. The continent is the continent is the big, but the actual stealing of our goods, where you done took all of a man's goods, all his heritage, all his wealth, and stored it in your stolen storehouses you call museums. None of it is yours. If you take all of the Asian and all of the African and the, Australian artifacts out of here, these crackers wouldn't have shit. This motherfucker be empty, man. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself tell you, if the European was so powerful, where is all his artifacts of quality note in mass production? They don't have it. They don't have that.
But we got to wrap it up because we got to end up in Brixton. Just want you to big up Black Ice TV.
Black Ice T, man, it mess me up, man.
Don't worry about that. We all make mistakes.
Black Ice TV 7, right there. I see that, brethren.
Yeah, Sara Suten Seti, the general.
Hey, baby, bringing that smoke. Stay tuned.
Yeah, because there's more to come.
Bringing that smoke.
Peace.
Stay tuned.
Black Power.
Now they feel they made it. Still rock chains and whips, still on a slave ship. Our history is there and the rest can't change it. Schools don't teach it, seek it is sacred. On a die, mother and father is the basics. Rise like you're supposed to slip out the matrix. Still dumbstruck thinking this is entertainment. Escape to reality, most lives are wasted.
See, enough don't feel the same, that's why we're left grieving. Our resources stolen for street codes, we're bleeding. I'd rather die for freedom than live for bullshit. If you feel the same, holler at me, fam, and let's link. Many don't know the history, that's why their life's a mystery. If it ain't revolution, then it don't mean shit to me. All you seem to care about is gold chains and whips. We had that in abundance, locked in them slave ships. And before that, we had the whole globe in our grip. The belly of the